What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Silence Voices podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the second episode. I am your host, Lyndon, and let's get started.
Let's go.
Yo, guys, welcome back to the Silence Voices podcast. This is episode 2, and we have a special guest. Our special guest today. He has actually made his first appearance in the first episode, so introduce yourselves, please.
Hello, my name's Angelo.
Hello, my name is Stacey. My name is Liam.
If you guys didn't know, the Silence Voices, this podcast was rated 5 stars on iTunes by Shivam Patel. He says, you are I lied, that was a joke.
That's great, mate.
Fuck you, bitch.
I'm not gonna lie. If I failed life academically, I'd actually start a podcast, like, professionally. But luckily for me, I've actually bagged my GCSE grades. And I'm actually headed somewhere in life. So, with that being said, how is everyone's education going?
Anyone like to start off, kick it off?
That's going great. Almost the end of the course. Got like 4 or 5 assignments left to do. And then after that, I'm done in May. It's pretty good.
Hopefully in May.
Same, bro.
Hopefully.
Stacey, have you experienced any unfair grading, like past year?
Yeah. In January, we had the exams, but I cancelled. I was predicted merits, even though my last mocks, I got 2 marks off the distinction. I thought that was unfair. I could have got 2 distinctions instead of 2 merits. So yeah, I was annoying.
I can't lie. If I'm being honest, my course last year, I graduated with 2 passes. So that was so embarrassing. So this year is where I said, I'm gonna pattern. I'm gonna try back these distinctions.
That sounds good. Oh yeah, speaking on education, Lyndon, have you experienced any unfair judgment on your education this year or last year?
Well, speaking of last year, the teachers back in CWC, they expected us to make a documentary out of thin air. Like, Stacey, I don't know if you remember, but I was doing this stop motion project, and it was so difficult to do because I didn't have a studio at home. I had to improvise at home because we couldn't really do it in college because of the coronavirus and the whole pandemic situation. I'm gonna pass the ball back to you guys. So, is there anything you guys specifically dislike about your BTEC course last year?
Yeah, so me and Stacey obviously the same course. We're part of the same class. One of the things that we dislike the most is that it's not really the course, but how the teachers teach it and how they hand out assignments.
Really?
Basically, they will just teach all their content at once and then dish out their assignment all at once. So we have to do 3 assignments all in one go, and they all have the same deadline.
Didn't you guys do a 70-page assignment?
70 pages? I don't think it was that long.
Like a 40-page assignment.
So how did you manage to get 3 or however many assignments done with all the same deadline?
So as a collective, as a class, we obviously took upon ourselves to try and get most of it done, but we obviously couldn't do it in time. So what we did was we complained to the teachers saying, next time you dish out an assignment, you should actually separate them one by one so that we have at least 1 week's notice between the one and the other.
That
then
seems
we obviously
fair.
told them about mental health, how it's really hard to have a work-life balance.
I second that because back in CWC, I had so much work, which was due in, and yeah, so I've actually experienced something similar to what you have experienced. I can agree that the teaching last year, it was so rushed to the point where we had to rush our assignments, which were overdue. And yeah, I think it was very difficult for me to get past my first year. taking that into consideration, what do you guys think is harder, like GCSE or education, like after GCSE? So that includes BTEC, whichever level your course is.
I think definitely BTEC
Why is that?
because GCSEs, even though it's like 5 subjects plus 3 usually, BTEC or A levels is a lot more in depth.
I can't lie. I think GCSE was much harder for me because I have terrible memory.
Lyndon, do you think that if you was to go back in time and then you had the opportunity to do GCSE again, do you think you'd do better in comparison to how you'd be doing now with higher education such as BTEC?
I can't lie. I think I would do it much better. Given how everything is going right now, I've been smashing it. Let me not lie. I've been smashing it. So I think GCSE would be a walk in the park. The only thing that would prevent me from doing that or would make it much more difficult is the poems. We had to revise every single poem, and I don't want to have to go through. Well, it wasn't that bad for me because I had a good English teacher and I actually enjoyed English, so I wouldn't mind revising like the poems, every single poem again. Do you think like BTECs or higher education is truly that hard?
I definitely think it is, depending on what subjects you're studying.
I don't think it is, Well, from my viewpoint, like when you're doing higher education, it's like you're focusing your knowledge or energy onto like a specific set of assignments from your course. So I feel like it would be much easier other than GCSEs, because GCSEs we had to study about 9 or 7 subjects.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, can't lie.
Why is
Because
that?
let's say like you want to become like a doctor or nurse or something,
Yeah.
you would have to study something like maths, science, and then whatever other subject.
Oh yeah, true.
And that's gonna put a lot on your plate.
That would be for A levels. But then again,
Yeah.
A levels is on a much higher difficulty than BTEC. That's why
we were talking about higher education. That's
Yeah.
one of them.
that's why I can't lie. That's why I didn't pick A levels. I would not be able to hack it.
Yeah, that wasn't the main reason I didn't choose it though, because at the time I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah, same. If I had done A levels, like I would have had to do maths, physics, and art, and that is long.
Yeah, that sounds long.
Like,
Especially art.
yeah, art at A level, it takes so much of your time. It would have been worth it for me though, because initially I planned on becoming an architect.
Yeah, then I'm guessing it would have been very beneficial for you if you like took that route.
I think you could have gone into architecture as well.
Nah, it's always been something that my family told me to try to pursue, but it's not something I want to do personally.
Oh,
But at the time, after or like near the end of year 11, I really was considering doing A levels, but I didn't see myself going to do something in that like industry.
I think BTEC and just level 3 courses in general. Like, do you think they're slept on? I think they're so slept on.
Yeah, I think they are.
Because
Especially now that some people like don't even want to go to like sixth form anymore. They just want to like go to work after year 11.
yeah, but it's like at the end of the 2 years, students from BTEC and students from A levels, they're still gonna end up going to university regardless. So it's like the grading system is fair for both higher education options.
I would have to disagree with you slightly, ever so slightly, because with my course, right, because it's a BTEC,
Yeah.
some universities don't accept our qualification. They would only take A level. Yeah, for example, one of my friends in my course would really wanted to go to the University of Manchester, but he couldn't go because they only accepted A level sports science.
That's just so unfair.
yeah, despite the fact that BTEC and A-level grades like are equivalent standard.
A-level sports science.
Yeah,
But surely that would be the same as BTEC sports science.
yeah, it would be similar, but you know, it depends on the. Yeah, so different exam boards will teach and like have different modules and units. So that will vary between my course and what other A-level courses actually teach.
Oh, so different universities accept those kinds of modules, let's say.
Yeah, and just guessing that universities look or still favor A-levels over BTEC.
100%.
Yeah. So, do you think university will be even more challenging than like all of this, innit?
It's going to be much harder. I feel like the new GCSE students, they're going to be so disadvantaged. Especially the 2020 GCSE students, because you're going to head into uni without having sat an exam, and it's going to be much more difficult on them.
I also agree. Yeah.
Liam, you actually experienced having to sit your GCSEs within the pandemic. So with that in mind, exactly how were you graded?
Yeah. So, it's actually quite interesting because everyone in school were given like these predicted grades as their final GCSE grade.
Yeah.
And then teachers would basically have to assess your gradings from the start of when you joined year 7 to obviously the end. And then you'd be given a grade, obviously 4 of you pass. So yeah, I think it's quite interesting.
Do you feel disadvantaged in any way?
Well, obviously some people have like don't deserve this because obviously they are
They haven't been revising it.
yeah. So there is some good effects.
Well, at least now you can just focus ahead of you. For example, sixth form on the road to like university. Unfortunately, guys, that will be the end of episode 2. Episode 3 will be different as it is only just me, therefore it will be a solo experience. I have been your host, and these lot have been my guests, and we are signing out.